drilling versus positional training versus sparring, what's best for you? So guys, I got this question here from a user that he was asking like, Bernardo, what do you like the most? Drilling or positional training or sparring? And I'm gonna start by saying that, guys, this is such like a personal question, because I do know people that they love drilling and they were very successful competing the highest level by drilling hours per day, you know, like, and I do know people that most of what they do is positional training. Like for example, at John Danaher's school, most of the time for sparring is on positional training, and they're very successful and it works really well. And there's some people that all they like is sparring. It's regular sparring, which was my case. I was always more towards the sparrings than the positional training or the drilling. But anyways, so I think this is such like a personal question, guys. But I do think that there are some things here that helps to give you a better idea. So for example, guys, in the IBJJF rules, where scoring is very important, where there is time and submission only is not the priority, I do think that the free sparring, the live row, it's really important, because in the live row, it's not submission only, there are scorings. You can really have an idea of how you're doing and how you will do in the tournament. ADCC rules, all these no-gi submission only tournaments, I think positional training becomes extremely important. Just because like in the positional training, you're gonna develop such a great defense and such great submissions that for those tournaments, I think you're gonna get a lot of dividends by doing that. I think it's really gonna help you. And guys, the drilling, to me, like drilling is almost like there's drilling and studying Jiu-Jitsu. I always loved to study Jiu-Jitsu, but I was never a big fan of spending like a lot of time doing 100 reps to one side, 100 reps to another side, and this and that. My thing was always like, I'm gonna study Jiu-Jitsu and I'm gonna try in the sparrings. So I would get like a lower belt and try those moves in the lower belt, and that's kind of how I was drilling. And the fact that I was always like most of the times heavier than my training partners, I could get like I was black belt, I could get like a purple belt, 170 pounds, was kind of easy for me to move him, and I could test things on him, almost like doing my drilling. So guys, the reality here, in my opinion, is that those three things are almost like percentages on your training. You know, like if I would analyze my career, I would almost put like sparring was like 60% of my training. Yeah, positional training was another 20%, and drilling was another 20%. I think it's really important as a jiu-jitsu practitioner that you have those three buckets and you spend time and percentages on them. But it's really gonna depend on the school that you train, how is the training session there, and also on your what you like the most, you know. Because for example, drilling, you can always drill anywhere. You can go to an open mat, grab a training partner, and spend a ton of time drilling. You can have like a mat at home on your living room, get your wife or get a friend and drill for her. I have seen people doing that. And the positional training and sparrings, you kind of need a little more of like this school to give you that opportunity, the training session to give you that opportunity. But even though you can go to an open mat and do as many sparrings as you want, you can go to an open mat and do a lot of positional trainings. So, but anyways, but to me, because most of the tournaments I used to compete was on IBJJF, I spent a lot more time doing sparrings than doing the positional training or drilling. And for example, just to give you some examples here, one time I talked to Roger Gracie, and he was explaining to me how was the training when he used to train. And he said that he was never like a huge fan of drilling. You know, that was never his thing. He would study jiu-jitsu a lot, just as I said, but not a lot of drilling. And he said that every day he would do 5 minutes bottom side control, 5 minutes top side control, 5 minutes bottom mount, 5 minutes top mount, 5 minutes on the back defending, 5 minutes on the back attacking, and 30 minutes of live sparrings. So it was pretty much 50-50 positional training and sparrings. This was one conversation that I had with me. I hope this is accurate, but I think it is. And if you go to John Danaher's school, for example, the new wave, most of the sparring time is spent on positional training, and then in the end there is 1 or 2 live in rows, like live sparrings. So as you can see, it really depends, you know, like, and when I was training at Marcelo's, for example, I would almost say that it was probably like 70% live row and 30% specific. When I was training my home, that was probably 70-30 as well. In Sao Paulo at Alliance, it was probably like 60% live sparrings, 40% positional. There was quite a lot of positional training. So it really depends, you know, like, it depends the rules that you're competing, depends on your personal style as well, what you like the most, because you can allocate that open mat time for whatever you want, or you can train like at home with friends as well, and things like that. But I do think it's important to understand that if we're doing submission only tournaments, for example, I do think positional training is more important than the live sparrings. But if you're competing on IBJJF, where scoring 2 points, understanding that the guy swept you have to sweep him back, understanding advantage, it's really important. I think the live sparrings can make even more sense. So again, to me, I was the IBJJF guy. I was doing a lot more live rounds, live sparrings than positional training. But nowadays, seeing Jiu-Jitsu as it is, seeing all those no-gi tournaments, super fights, and this and that, I really understand the importance of the positional training, and even like looking the best examples as well, like Roger, Gordon, they did a lot of positional training, so I think it's really important. And yeah, those are my thoughts, guys. So this was a great question. Thanks this user for asking this. And I hope that helps you to understand the difference and where you should focus the most between drilling, positional training, and sparrings. And yeah, I hope that helps you guys. And guys, if you are a beginner in Jiu-Jitsu, or if you're looking to improve your fundamentals in Jiu-Jitsu, my best-selling instructional course is called The Foundations of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It's at BJJFanatics.com. And I made this entire instructional video just to focus on the fundamentals and in the foundation, how to build a good foundation for you to build the rest of your game. So it's at BJJFanatics.com. Make sure to check it out. And I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope to see you in the next video. Please help me out to grow my YouTube channel. Just click subscribe. And to watch more videos, just click under see more videos. I hope you enjoyed.
BJJFanatics.com. Use the promo code YouTubeFaria to get 10% off any instructional video. Improve your jiu-jitsu faster.